I'm sure many of you here are at least passingly familiar with them, but in case you're not, there's really great documentation on the official website that lays it all out. This diagram expresses how an MCP, as an open source standard, connects AI applications over there to data sources and tools over here. In the context of this diagram, our Oxford team develops for kind of this data and file systems block, and the engineers are the ones who are designing the pipes in the actual MCP server. From my perspective, an MCP server is a layer between AI experiences and the data I maintain. This layer optimizes an agent's ability to use my data as intended. And I'm increasingly hearing from my engineering partners that the canonical version of an MCP entails the resource owner defining its use. This makes sense to me. I develop my data, the taxonomy, for specific use cases and contexts, and it probably won't work as well in other ones. But let's face it, we can do all the data prep and cleaning in the world, but we ultimately have a very limited ability to control how our consuming partners use it. The fact that MCPs are so quick and easy to set up is another significant factor in their adoption at Adobe. One of the devs I work with told me he was actually on a call with someone who mentioned at the top, like, how great it would be to have an MCP for this, application they were talking about. And by the end of the call, an MCP server existed. So this kind of accelerated build time is, I think, often really encouraged in engineering-driven orgs. But the downside is that it also accelerates siloization and duplication of efforts. Spinning up a quick MCP for the application in front of you sounds great until you have dozens of MCPs doing the same thing for essentially identical applications. This is an age-old problem in kind of my part of data land and taxonomies. Lots of non-taxonomy type folks would either prefer to or are forced to spin up a new controlled vocabulary, then take the time to normalize data across different required use cases. This tends to drive misalignment, not only on the tactical level, like what terms should I use, but also on a more strategic level, like which list of terms am I using and what does it actually mean if marketing uses it this way and product uses it this way. I think MCPs are so functional because, well, I should say MCPs are only as functional as the governance process that guides the data they expose. But I get the sense that it is expected that AI agents will be able to take on that unit of work that creates that governance and that alignment. And I also think that the machine that can solve that kind of people problem is rare, so I think it bears watching.